Do you guys remember this lady? Well, I'm trying not to laugh. This is her now.
It's been happening frequently at the 333 Miami Avenue Federal Court building. Janet Correa's husband was detained this week. According to her immigration lawyer, he has already been placed on expedite removal.
They voted for Donald Trump. Donald Trump deport. You heard that right, guys. Janet Correa, the famous Trump singing lady, has had her husband detained by ICE. And not only that, but he got put on expedited removal. They want him out of the US. They don't want him. But of course, we've been telling them this all along. They don't want you, bro. Also, do you remember the time I went viral because I told people to call ICE on Latinos for Trump and the family members of Latinos for Trump? It looks like it's happening, and I couldn't be happier. You reap what you sow, and I stand by what I say. But anyways, play silly games, get silly prizes. Let me know what you guys think.
Imagine voting against your own interests, like against your interests, thinking that you are voting against other people's interests, but somehow it came back to bite. Yes, voting do have consequences. I am not excited that people are getting deported, and I'm sure a lot of people are also not excited about how much people are hurt and also being separated by their spouse, is separated from their spouse, from their relatives, from their friends, and well-wishers, neighbors. It's so heartbreaking to see that the people that you know is being taken away from your community, and yes, you can't do anything. But trust me, voting do have consequences, especially when you decide to vote against your own interests. Hey guys, so welcome back again to my channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video. So I'm going to let some of these videos I've gathered for you guys today roll, then I'll come back with the commentary. But first, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and decide to share your thoughts, okay? And also subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button to be part of the family. Credit to all creators on this video.
What a disappointment this is, where you just believed that a freaking politician was actually trustworthy, that whenever he said he would stay out of these wars and bring world peace, that America would be America first, not Israel first.
He was convicted 34 times of tax evasion. He lied 35,000 times during his first term, and he cheated on multiple wives. We knew that he wasn't honest. That's on you and that stupid hat. There. I fixed it.
I'm a Republican Latina. Of course they're going to tell me that I have a nopal en la frente. I'm a Republican Latina. Of course ICE doesn't scare me. I'm a Republican Latina. Of course they're going to call me racist. Before you see this one, just letting you know, for all the softies on the internet, you guys are going to be mad. I'm a Republican Latina who can do both. I'm a Republican Latina who only believes in two genders. I'm a Republican Latina. Of course the lefties are going to tell me that I'm going to be deported. I'm a Republican Latina who 100% believes that Jesus should be put back in the classrooms. I'm a Republican Latina, and I don't support no fucking rainbow flag. I'm a Republican Latina, and I believe that if you came here illegally, you could get the fuck out. I'm a Republican Latina who's anti-abortion. I'm a Republican Latina who believes in protecting our borders. I'm a Republican Latina who likes my culture, but I love my country more. I'm a Republican Latina. Of course they're gonna call me a torta. I'm a Republican Latina, and of course I believe in keeping dicks out of women's sports and bathrooms. I'm a Republican Latina, and of course they're always gonna tell me I will never be like them, aka white. I'm a Republican Latina. Of course I'm gonna be called a traitor. I'm a Republican Latina, and of course I'm not gonna be claimed by the raza. I'm a Republican Latina, and of course I believe in making America great again.
Nearly 400 emergency 911 calls have been made within 10 ICE detention centers this year alone. You guys, let that sink in. Hundreds of calls for help. People seizing, bleeding, passing out, trying to take their own lives, some begging for medical attention they never got. These places aren't supposed to be prisons, you guys, but the conditions are overcrowded, filthy, and dangerous. People sleep next to toilets. The lights never turn off. The food is moldy. They go days, sometimes weeks, without seeing a nurse. Some women with severe bleeding reportedly waited hours for help. Others have had seizures while guards debated whether to call 911 or not. And since January, at least, it says 8 on here, but I just found out, a 9th person. So 9 people today now have died in ICE custody. But most of these facilities are run by private prison companies like Core Civic and GEO Group, who profit by keeping people locked up longer. They're paid per head stay. That's the incentive. Not care, not safety, just bodies and beds. And many of the people trapped inside haven't even been charged with a crime. They're awaiting immigration hearings, civil detention. But in reality, it's a system breaking people down until they can't breathe, can't fight, and can't survive. ICE doesn't want you to see this, but when you hear that hundreds of people inside are calling 911 just to stay alive, that's a massive, massive red flag.
Okay, game plan. This is how we're going to get the ICE raids to stop. All right, so for starters, ICE is already about $1 billion over their budget, but they get a new fiscal year coming up. Now, they're set to get $75 billion in funding if this big, beautiful bill goes through, the H.R.1. On top of that, they get 10,000 more agents. They get an increase in the detention centers' capacities from whatever that number was to 100,000. It's just they get a lot, okay? So what we can do is we can call up our senators and tell them to vote no. We don't want this bill to go through. Because not to mention, they're getting it from cutting Medicaid and SNAP and other things that Americans need to fund ICE. So anyways, there's that. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to senate.gov. Okay, there's going to be a tab. You're going to click your state, and then it's going to give you your senators. And then you can either call them or email them. Now, if you want to call them, there are websites called, like 5calls.org, where they have scripts where you can read off of verbatim and leave them a voicemail or whatever, or you can use it to send an email. But nonetheless, we need them to vote no. Now, we primarily need the red states to flip, okay? Because obviously the blue states are going to vote no regardless, but we need the red states to flip. Now, what you can do is you can find out if your senator is up for re-election soon. And then we do a little bait and switch, right? Hey, vote no or else. Catch my drift? So, yeah, you won't get reelected. So that's how we're going to do this. Now, if you're thinking, well, ICE is doing so much unlawfully that they're just going to get money from somewhere else. Whatever, cool. But this guarantees that they don't get $75 billion, okay? So it is a little bit important. And there's more to the bill that you should do some research on, but this is a big one, okay? Everyone wants us to stop, and this is how we do it.
This whole ICE thing wouldn't have been an issue. It wouldn't have even been there if people decide to vote somebody who said she was never going to deport people and also offer people immigration reform. But no, a lot of people just prefer to vote against people's own interests, not knowing that somehow they will get, beaten at the end of the day. I guess that's exactly what's playing out. Lots and lots of MAGAs decided to vote against their interests. Be it Latino, you have Black Americans who also voted who also voted for this. You have Black people, you have Latinos, you have majorly Latinos who voted for this. Then you have lots of, palm-colored people who decided that this was exactly what they were going to vote for. Now, a lot of them came out on the internet and said, oh, we actually voting for you to close the border so that people don't have to come in through the border and all of that. Why that is okay for people to come in legally into a country, very, very important. And if you already find yourself in a country, for you to find a way to get legalized in the country, it's also very important for you to note that wishing other people bad, okay, because everything that is happening now with the ICE rate and how strict it is, okay, and how people are going through stuff just because they're being picked up by ICE, it's all your fault. Like, you did this to people. So stop coming online to cry about it and all that, because a lot of you are even wearing the whole MAGA hat, still complaining, wearing the same MAGA hat, okay? You actually voted for this. You wanted this. This was exactly what you planned for. You wanted people to get deported. Now you're crying and saying you can never believe any politician and all their words and all that. But you actually said you wanted closed border. You wanted people to be deported and all of that, forgetting that somehow it might affect you. Even if your family members are not there, somehow the policies are going to come to you. And also, now that is food shortage, farmers are complaining that they can't find people to work on their farms. A lot of them are going bankrupt. A lot of them are shutting down their farms just because people decided to vote against their interests. Okay, now let's even talk about it. Most of these farmers who are crying are also people who voted red, right? Most of them wanted people to be deported, forgetting that our farm workers also work in their farm. People working in their farms are undocumented. Like, how melodramatic. How will you decide to vote against your own interests? You voted against the undocumented immigrants who work in your farm? What happens to asking for immigration reform, asking for a way for these people to get documented in the country, and all of a sudden they are getting deported, and now nobody to work on your farm? I saw a video of a CEO who is an e-commerce person, and he was crying about the cost of bringing his goods from China and all that, and the tariff is affecting him. It's affecting you because you voted against your interest. You wanted the cost of things to go high, okay, without even checking it, fact checking if truly China will be paying, or you will be the one to pay for the tariff. And now that is in the open that actually it is you and your fellow citizens that will be paying for the tariff, you are not feeling so bad about it and wishing that you knew better. No, you know better, but you wanted people to get deported. You wanted high prices. You wanted the tariff to hit, and thinking other countries was going to be affected, not knowing that is a two-way thing. While you're buying things very expensive, anything you ship from China, you're going to the tariff is going to affect it. Chinese have also put their own embargo, so somehow the tariff is also affecting them, right? But ask yourself this question: how many things does Chinese bring from the US to China, and how many things do people import from China to the US? All of these questions are something that we should ask ourselves before even making decisions. And now that it is here, I guess everybody now know the truth, right? Well, it is what it is, guys. I feel so sad this is happening to people. I wish everyone well, and I wish that they find better ways and better life wherever they are moving to. We've had stories of people who moved to Mexico or who was deported, and they're already picking the piece of their life, starting afresh and also living a better life. And I hope everybody get the same, right? Get a better life, get a better healthy living and all that. It is what it is, right? But I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys, in the comment. Let's have that conversation in the comment section. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up so that more people can see it. Credit to all creators on this video. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. See you on my next video. Bye, guys.